and blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com. And by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donotshout.com.
Hello and welcome to Inside Leomister. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city, and yes, this Thursday night we are live, as we are each and every Thursday night, except for, well, Thanksgiving, right? And so it's January 16th, and in case you're watching the show later on, and we've had some decent weather in the last couple of weeks, but it's going to get cold. So remember, anything that is outside right now that's wet and didn't dry off during the course of the day will freeze, and I'm not sure when it will thaw, because it looks like all next week we'll be down to 5 and 6 and 7 degrees at night. So not much maybe you can do about it now, but I think for the most part the wind, we were talking about sending sanders and salters out tonight, 4 or 5 o'clock when the temperatures drop, but it looked like the wind helped us out today and dried everything out. Speaking of wind and being a good guy and a new year and always on top of things with creative suggestions, there he is, Art for the Art Report.
Give Art just a second.
Where'd he
just
go?
Lost him. He's coming right back.
Is he like getting recipes or what?
I think he's getting some good recipes for some good home cooking.
All right. Well, we'll wait for Art, right? The world does wait for Art. Let's see. Oh, man. Look at all the events we have coming up. Tons. If I wanted to just let you know, they have this income tax assistance program at the public library, and it's free, and it always is, it maxes itself out. So during the tax filing season, they'll host the AARP Tax Aid Program to help eligible seniors and low to moderate income filers prepare their income tax. Tax aid appointments are on select Saturdays, beginning February 8th, 2020. Appointments are required. They're going to begin taking calls for appointments, and you need to call the following phone number, 978-53-47522, extension 3. You can call Monday through Thursdays from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. So individuals and families who earn less than $60,000 in 2019 may qualify for the free income tax assistance program. And now, live from the last right into the last right. Say this right, dear Art. It's the last right before you hit Lunenburg. How's that?
That's not bad.
Pretty good?
Hey, listen.
Yes.
Now that you're using Armor All on your shoes,
Yes.
I got some chrome polish for your belt buckle if you're going to go automotive completely.
Well, let me tell you, it saved me that night.
Yes. It's amazing what that stuff will do.
Well, I do have to point out that you got to use the greaseless stuff.
Yes.
You can't use that stuff, that style there that leaves that greasy texture to it. This is greaseless. Yeah. And I just so happened to see the bottle, and I looked, and I said, oh, man, I got like salt stains on my shoes. And I looked for my shoe polish, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, where is my shoe polish? And I only had a couple minutes before I had to get to City Hall. And then I saw the Armor All, and I said, let's give it a shot.
There you go.
See that?
You know, it's hard finding chrome polish nowadays. You know, that Detroit doesn't know what the word chrome means, and everything is the same anyway.
It's interesting that
but
everything is chromeless, but A friend of mine said his tail got hit by somebody. He crashed in the back of him, and it was like $8,000 for his tailgate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, but what's funny is the old car guys, the insurance companies. There's a lot of good ones that cater to us. And I know a guy with like $100,000 and something hot rod, but he only pays like $350 a year insurance.
Well,
because they put restrictions on it, and they know, number one, you're not going to go far.
Right.
Number two, they know you're not going to be reckless.
Right.
And number three, they know it's garaged, or facsimile to that. And even my regular insurance company, I called them up and I said, hey, look, I'm only putting 250, 300 miles at most on my Classic. You need to do something with the charges here. And they did. They knocked off quite a bit. And I told them, it's garage, it's this, it's that. So that worked out okay.
Interest, so with insurance business of any kind, it's all managing risk, right? Predicting what the risk might be.
That's it. And I was out the other day, out and about, and I see we have another unmarked. I love it. It was parked on, I think, over West Street somewhere. Mm-hmm. The white one. No, not the white one. This one's blue, I think.
Yes.
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because they were also on Day Street when the school was getting in, because it's such a cluster over there. A lot of people driving their children to school.
More than taking the bus, I think, some days.
Yeah, and it's something, you got to deal with. That's the way it goes.
In the new schools, the ones they're building now, they're actually building into the school circulation and outdoor parking and everything. They're actually building in, the parent drop-off areas where they can stack so many cars in the parking lot, and
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they're just building it right into the plan, knowing that it's probably a trend that'll be with us for some time.
Yep. And yesterday we were in UMass Memorial.
Yes.
And we do not have to go back anymore, and it is officially claimed a success, and it's over.
And she's feeling well.
Can't wait to get to the casino.
I took my mother out to Encore. And somehow I didn't play. Don't worry about me spending any money. There was no chance of that. But I somehow or another I just saw a picture of on Facebook of a carousel, and I didn't see it. I didn't really walk around much, but I walked upstairs where all the high rollers are playing the tables.
Yep.
And there was no chance of me getting in there, but I walked up there. But apparently there's a carousel inside, and I never saw it.
How did we do?
I don't think they did bad, but I don't think they did great.
Well, that's good.
But it was mostly to take them there. And last year, about this time, I took them to Springfield.
Oh, yeah. But
and that was interesting.
Pretty tough at the one in Boston.
No, actually, the garages weren't bad at all.
No?
No, but the problem is it takes a while. Like Saturday and Sunday, I would suspect, and we went on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You got to wait. No matter which way you come in from, it's you're at least 20 minutes in traffic when you get there. You can actually see the building.
But you can't get near it.
But you can't. There's a series of lights. And once you pass those lights, the garages, unless they get filled, and I'm not sure where the overflow parking is, but we got there around 11, and there was still plenty of parking.
Oh, that's good.
But when I had left, I left for a while, maybe an hour or so, and when I came back, this was like 3:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. It was busier then, and they were still coming in. So it's just be patient, but it's worth. Like I said, I didn't spend a penny there, but it's worth kind of walking around and taking a look at how people spend their money, and this place. It's beautiful inside, just gorgeous.
A lot of money spent there.
Oh, it just barrels full. Yeah, it's incredible. You got to go once just to see it.
Yeah, we will. We're going to get down there.
Yeah, I'm sure there are
in the good weather.
Buses, or you drive down, and I mean, honestly, on a Sunday morning, it isn't going to be bad. Or Saturday.
I guess there's no buses going there yet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What are all those buses that say Encore?
Those are probably they pick them up locally, but there's nothing out of here.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like, you can go up to the old Kmart and hop on a bus to go to Foxwoods.
Okay, I'm sure they'll be in competition pretty soon. But
Yeah.
the place is massive. My mother said it's bigger than Foxwoods.
And Foxwoods is big.
This place
How's
is.
she doing? Good?
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
for her.
My brother Mark's birthday today,
Oh, happy birthday, Mark.
January 16th.
Wow.
I had to figure-
I miss him at the Molars. I really do.
I know everybody that sees me says, "Hey, I miss seeing your brother at Market Basket."
Used to walk in and say hi and talk to him for a bit. He was the mayor of
Yes,
Jamestown.
he was in charge of public relations.
Yes, he was. Good PR man.
That's important to
Okay,
have.
buddy.
Somebody in every business like that, right?
That's right. And you got to have him. And it'll be good luck in the next 2 years.
Thank you.
And I'm sure, I am positive, things in Leominster are so looking up. It's going to be exciting again. And
Well,
you keep it that way.
As far as we're concerned, it's spring. We're ready to go.
Let's go.
So,
See you later.
all right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Art.
You're welcome.
And you're watching Inside Leomister. There's our phone number, 978-537-7760. Just press extension 3. That puts us in touch with each other. And if you have any questions at all about anything in town, by all means, let us know. And we've got guests tonight. We'll be coming back with Dan and Russ from the CTEi, and we'll be talking about what maybe you don't know that goes on up at our Center for Technical Education and Innovation. And maybe you have a student or a grandson or daughter that goes there, and it has changed much from the days of when we referred to it as the trade school, and we're going to be talking about that after the break. But in the meantime, we're going to take a short break, and we're coming right back with more Inside Leominster.
On January 23rd, 1918, at 4:45 p.m., a general alarm fire gutted the 2 upper floors of the Nathaniel G. Woodblock building at 14 Monument Square. The fire destroyed the elaborate roof line, which contained a prominent clock. The fire cost nearly $100,000 in damage. It was bitter cold, recalls a resident. The flames were leaping right out of the top of the building. It went all through the night. There was no determined cause for the fire. No deaths from the fire were reported. The Lawrence Clothing Store, the Andrews Variety Store, and the Woolworths 5 and Dime on the first floor all suffered heavy water damage. A few days later, they had a fire sale. Over the years, there have been 8 fires at the Woodblock, which was built in 1890 by Boston businessman Nathaniel G. Wood and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Down at Situate. I haven't been down there in a while.
Yeah.
It's really nice down there now.
Yep.
It's on the ocean, and I've been there in years, and I went, and I'm like, wow, it's their busy season down there. It's nothing compared to Lake Maine or
Right.
Hey, we're back, and we're just having a conversation about the South Shore. And anyway, Dan and Russ are here from CTEi. Dan is the principal and director at CTEi, and Russ is the assistant principal and the co-op coordinator. And so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I think when people refer to CTEi, they sometimes might call it the trade school.
Yes.
And so much has changed. First of all, when people refer to trade school, it was predominantly male.
Yes.
That went to the CTE to trade school,
Right.
and now that's changed. The other big change is if you went to the trade school, you went to the trade school, and if you went to the high school, you went to the high school, and you may have crossed that line on occasion, but you couldn't sort of. It wasn't comprehensive where you could sort of take classes in each of the schools.
Right.
When now you can.
Right. You're absolutely right. And we have athletes for both boys and girls sports playing. I think the point guard this year is a student from CTE, and he's doing great. He's in the auto collision repair shop. What were you going to say, Russell?
No, I was just saying that gives us the affordability too. Some of our students, they have this myth that they can only take certain structured academics, and a lot of the shops, they're willing to let one take an AP course so that student, I mean, we're bringing in individuals at 14 or 15 and saying, like, this is what you're going to do the rest of your life, and that's not true.
Right.
We give them the opportunity to learn a trade. They decide to go on to college and not the trade. They can still work the trade while going to college.
And you have plenty of students that go off to college.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
And you have plenty of students who I see earn 2 degrees, right? They get a
yes.
certificate from CTEi and they get one from the high school, right? Which is
That's correct.
pretty unique because they can walk out with 2.
That's correct.
And have a trade that maybe they want to use as a hobby or part-time or just, it's not that bad. It's not a bad thing to have.
No, we've had students that graduate and go off to college,
Right.
and 4 or 5 years down the road, they come back to
Back
the
to the
school
trade.
and say, "Hey, Mr. Bayshon, I'm in the trade.
Right.
I'm working for the Carpenters Union, or I'm working over here as a plumber, or I'm an HVAC technician."
Or people go into the service.
They go into the
And then they
service
come
in
back,
the military.
become electricians. Let's
That's
go to the
right.
phone. Caller. Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
Did you do what I told you the last week at McDonald's?
I tried.
You tell everybody free apple pies and free French fries. That's because that
I tried.
rhymes. So are you going to work tomorrow?
No, I have the day off.
No, next time you go in, you tell the manager that I said free fries and free pies. All right?
Right.
What are you doing tonight?
Just relaxing.
Relaxing?
Yeah.
All right.
I finished my Martin Luther King book I was telling you about.
All right.
Oh,
Good for you. Perfect timing.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, go back to relaxing.
All right, I'll watch you on TV.
And remember, free fries and free pies.
Is there anything you want me to tell Jillian?
Tell Jillian to be good.
What's the lottery?
Is she with you?
No.
Well, tell her no fries for her.
Okay.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye. Automotive collision, automotive technology, carpentry, culinary arts, drafting, electrical, honors electrical, graphic communication, health assisting, HVAC, machine, tool, technology, and plumbing.
Yep.
And so how does it work? A student comes in, what you call exploratory,
That's correct.
and they come in at 9th grade?
9th grade, they select it when they're in the 8th grade with their guidance counselor at their middle school. They set up their schedule and they choose exploratory. When they come in, they're going to either go directly into health occupations or honors electronics. Those 2 shops run all year long, half day, all year long. They're heavy in academics, heavy in math and science, as you might think with those 2 trades. The rest of the other 11 shops, the students are divided into groups. Mr. Shermack is our master scheduler, and he has a program that he wrote himself that ensures that no group of kids will be together for more than that one rotation.
Wow.
He scrambles them all so they're always in a different group, and they go through every one of those for how long, Russ? 7 or 8?
Roughly 7 to 8 days. And we split it because of the numbers. We have a 5th period and a 6th period. And just recently, they've made their top 3 choices. One of the choices, unfortunately, could be they want to go back to the academic side. But the other is they might choose HVAC number 1, culinary 2, carpentry 3. They go through. The next criteria is grades, how did they do? And then, so if there's a competition, then they go in, and for the rest of the year, they're in just that shop for that period. Then the top students from that go on to sophomore year.
Do you ever have students that hit the 11th grade and say, I really thought I was going to be excited about HVAC, but I've been working on a project with the electricians, and that sounds like something I'm more interested in. Can you switch over at, say, the 11th grade?
It has
tough.
happened, but it happens more sophomore year.
Yeah.
We watch it. One of the things, HVAC, that's what I was in, and because they learn electrical and piping and so forth, I've had students that when they've gone on, they switch over to HVAC. So they might, and I have some that have become plumbers. I've had plumbers become HVAC.
That's right.
So they've got the bases, but they can change when it gets closer to that year.
One thing I notice is that just from building houses, that the materials that are
Always
used
changing.
today have really changed because of the high cost of labor, and so you want to use people's times more efficiently. So there are more things that connect or click together, things that make things move quicker in a building project. When you watch some of these buildings today go up, people think, how do they do this? Well,
Yes.
it's that there, things have changed and there are new materials, and I see students applying and installing some of the most advanced, using some of the most advanced technology there is in the industry.
That's correct. Go
And
ahead.
they're offering a lot of grants for that every year we go for, because we can't supplant with these grants.
Right.
But we're able to, if it's new technology, we want our students to be right at the top. And one of the
Cutting
ones,
edge.
like you were talking in plumbing, they use ProPress.
Right.
So this hot work, it's that new thing, whenever you use fire, old buildings, now you can get away from that. So the safety part, we're increasing the how long things take and stuff. It's really good. The
And you're not
technology.
exposed to burning fumes, which isn't very healthy for people either.
Correct.
Right.
And then it makes the project go faster, and you pretty much know what you're working with. Less trips back to the truck, and you
right.
don't have enough propane, and things that take time. And today it's amazing how fast things go, but it's nice to see that the students are using things that are cutting edge in the field.
State of the art, everything's state of the art, and safety is our number one concern. The safety of this. We want these kids, when they go out to work in the field, to know about PPE, personal protective equipment,
Right.
how to use it,
OSHA.
when to use it, everything related to OSHA.
Yeah.
All of our students graduate with a 10-hour OSHA card, and they all go through that training. We have fall protection, we have fall arrest systems, we have all different types of staging, where we even have curbing and guardrails. And these kids are learning how to protect themselves and protect the people they're working with on the job site.
And this shows in the co-op. Dan was the previous co-op coordinator. I'm the new co-op coordinator. And one of the biggest comments I'm getting from when I go out to the job sites to bring people is they're just very impressed that our students have worked with stuff that some of their people haven't even learned.
Right.
And that's the thing. If for a student who goes there during their halfway through their junior and their senior year, they're only attending when they get a co-op job. They only go into school half the time.
Right.
Because the shop time, they're out and they're learning stuff we can't. The hands-on, we can't have everything in there, and it's a real bonus for anyone going there.
Like anything else, we train you here, but everybody does things a little bit differently.
That's right.
And that sometimes is proprietary, right? You're getting things
Absolutely.
that are proprietary, little secrets but probably one of the greatest secrets, and anybody that goes to the apple seeds might get mad at me tonight for telling people about it, because it gets a little busy and it's kind of like a
Very.
secret.
Yes.
And so anybody that goes there is like, no, don't say anything. But the culinary arts program is
I think it's
just
the best.
incredible.
Yep. We think it's the best one in the state. Chef
amazing.
David Sweeney, Donna Lafayette, Miriam Sayre.
What a team, huh?
They're a great team. They work hard. They really work well with those students. Those kids get a great education. Way back when I first started here 20 years ago, I know that Dave Sweeney produced a gold medalist at the national competition, which means you are the top chef in your trade in the country. And he owns 4 restaurants in Manhattan.
Yeah. And others too
Alex
are out there.
Stupek.
Stupek.
Yep.
And others from town that have gone off to the to be in the business of culinary, because it's not just the food prep, it's managing it, it's
Right.
food managers now.
Yeah. Food and
There's
beverage service, the whole service
it's
industry.
so intricate now, right? I mean, people used to do everything,
Right.
and now the restaurants have grown, they got bigger, and I know I don't go to a restaurant if I plan on being hungry 2 hours from now. The reason I went to a restaurant is I'm hungry now.
That's
Remember
right.
how long it used to take
That's
to
right.
get your food?
Yes.
And now pretty much you get in there, you order your food, and I think the expectation is that it's not going to be 2 hours,
No,
right? You're going to
no.
get your food pretty quickly.
But on a Friday, you will wait. You will wait.
Yes,
Friday
yes.
is probably the busiest day.
And that's just the sheer volume of people that are coming through the door.
Right.
And that's I think that's the success of the restaurant.
Right.
Graphics, graphic
Fantastic,
art,
yep.
communication. That is really another. They print 7 colors, whatever it is. They make T-shirts and all kinds of. They make all the forms and everything for the
Yes,
schools.
yes.
They supply everything in the store at the.
Just
at
did the
high school.
DPW, the history of the DPW book for, who was
Pat LaPointe.
Pat LaPointe. He was very, very happy with that.
And the embroidery machines.
Embroidery machines.
They're really getting into that,
Yep.
and we have a lot of their students out on co-op.
I'll bet they're in demand.
Yep,
right?
they're in demand. We got a lot of students that are, we'd love to have everyone out, but we like that about it, and I think it shows in the students too, especially in graphics when we have a little store. If no one
Yep,
knows, there's a
right
little
up to high
store in
school.
there,
Right.
and the students, myself, I bought hats and stuff like that, and it's nice.
We used to have to call employers to ask them if they would be willing to take our students. And now the employers are calling us, asking us for more of the students that we have out there. And
Well, I
it's-
can tell you,
it's a
on
really
our
good thing.
part, we promote. When we visit
you
the
go.
businesses, we're always in touch, and we're always telling them what we're capable of doing.
Well, thank you for that.
No, we're always out there. Nikki, same thing.
Yeah.
All of us are out there and,
Yeah.
promoting it. Anybody knows that when you have your car fixed today,
Yeah.
we all used to be able to do certain things. And we take pride in the fact that you could change your oil, or you could. I remember putting a new thermostat in, and how proud I was of myself.
Sure.
Putting the sealant around,
Yeah.
getting it to
Our
heat.
TV
and-
blue.
Yeah.
Popping the gooseneck.
There you go. But today, that's not the case any longer. You have to have special tools. There's a science behind each car. You can't really get to anything anymore.
And
There
every-
aren't spark plugs that you pull out and put the little calibrator between them and
Yeah.
getting the little thing sized. That's no longer the case. This is like jets
Right.
almost, right? Each
Right.
car is that way.
Right, when you did a tune-up, you'd have a cap and a
Yeah.
rotor and a set of points.
Right. The points, that's what it was.
Yeah, the points, and you set the gap and everything like that.
And one thing about our teachers, especially that shop, we all stay up to date on everything new.
Right.
We're constantly going off. We get the literature, we get the subs, and whatever we have to do to allow those girls. And that's one shop. Because of that, they go in and they've got all the certifications you could
NATIF.
possibly get, and so that they can pass that on to the students. And it's all about hireability too. If you have 2 students, this has all the thing, and this one, they're going to take the one with all the certifications, and that's what we want. We want to give all our students to be as hireable as they can when they leave.
When I just purchased another vehicle, and when I was there, they said if you know anybody who could come to work for us, they were given like a bonus. I want to say thousands of dollars to be a service tech. And I said, "What? Are you serious?" And they said, "Sure. We can get them in here and,
Right.
and train, with the necessary skills, and then sort of train them our way because it was a Chevy dealership, say, and GM product, and sort of train them our way, and they stay here. Then we'll give them a bonus."
That's the best part of the co-op program, is because we tell the kids when they're going to go out on co-op, you're going to go to work for this person. They're going to train you. They're investing their time and money to prepare you to be an employee at their company.
Yep.
When you graduate, they're going to want to hire you and
Sure.
keep you. And they want
Absolutely.
you to start a career and stay with them. So it's a win-win situation.
Let's see what else. Carpentry, obviously, and for us, we hope to do a new home. Right? We talked
Yep.
about that today.
That's
the possibility of starting another.
Project.
Project where we build a new house every year.
We love that.
Incredible amount of work. We were just showing it off down at Emergency Management the other day. The kitchen, the amphitheater, did incredible amounts of work at the Veteran Center.
Yep.
Replaced all the lights at the Emergency Management Center. Then there's a big grant coming in for the lights at the high school.
That's correct.
And that's that you'll get reimbursed on that for a grant.
Should save according to the electric company. It should save the city and the school department over a 10-year period over $500,000.
Amazing.
by replacing all that lighting. And because we're having our students do it under the direction of the instructors, it's free labor. So it doesn't cost the city anything.
Yeah, so you're getting all that money back, and students are learning
Yeah.
how to save money. And I was in, I told a story once or twice, but I was in Germany for a plastic show.
Yeah.
It was in 4, 5, 6 buildings, big buildings.
Sure.
And they had a few pop-up. And at most every trade show, there were a few pop-ups where, it's off to the side somewhere, and they had some space left, and they have usually a little card table with a little banner set up in the back, nothing real expensive. And it's probably the owner and his wife, or his wife and the owner's the wife, and the husband's the assistant there, and they bring family to staff the booth. And I made it all the way down this hall where all the little pop-ups were. And I run into this Asian fellow, and he said, "You're from the States?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "If you do nothing else, go back and get up to speed on lighting." And I said, "On lighting?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, we, kind of use lighting." And he said, "Yeah, but you have no clue." He says, "If I were you, I'd go back and I'd invest in alternative sort of energy, and
Sure.
and I would invest in efficient energy."
And here we are
And
doing it.
what he meant by that, and I said, "Nah," I said, "I've seen some of that, and people in the United States will never get used to that color difference." And when you first put the bulb in, it
Right.
kind of looks different. And I said, "We're still hung up on the halogen." And
Right.
I don't know. I said, Christmas lights and all that, that doesn't look right. And now everything is pretty much, it transferred over. I don't care what kind of light it is.
Well, our electrical instructors, Rob Needham and Dan Brew, they take the kids to the outside program, and they got a chance to go down to the Department of Public Works as well.
Right.
Replaced every fixture in the building.
Right.
They came back to the school and told Russ and myself, "Hey, we could do that to the high school and probably save some money." I said, "Well, look into it." And they brought the gentleman in from from
Mass
EW,
Save or-
Yeah, he
electrical
did the audit,
wholesalers,
yeah.
did the whole audit, everything like that.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's unreal.
Yeah, LED, and that's what this guy said. Go back, educate yourself on LED, and invest your money there. Well, obviously
right.
I didn't, but I thought I didn't know if it would go over because it was a change, and it does take a while. But all the Christmas lights downtown are, all our traffic signals are, all our lights in almost every minute on all municipal buildings are, and it's it seems to. I mean, you turn on the bed, you hit a switch in my truck, and it lights up the whole bed, the
Everything.
inside, the outside, with all the LED lighting. So
Right.
I think it's taken a while, but we're pretty much
We're
used
turning
to
the
it.
corner.
And so much other work that you've done both in the schools and city buildings that's really saved a significant amount of money by having the CTEi do that work.
Yep.
And again, so I know we don't have time to talk about a lot of these other things, but in the healthcare industry, health assisting is a program that
Huge.
there is such demand in this area as we have an old aging population and so many medical facilities here in the city that there's a huge demand for employees, and these students are receiving education, certificates, and could go right to work, well, after school if they wanted.
Right. And Russ's wife is a nurse.
Yes, yeah,
In
and my
Boston.
2 daughters. The whole female side of my family are
All
RNs.
that, just like cops, right? You
Yeah,
got a family.
and it was interesting too because
What do you
both my
talk about? Fires?
both my girls went to Fitchburg, and I went to Fitchburg, and we were all graduates, and they call us the Falcon family. But it's a great career, and our young ladies at the school, every day they rotate them on the different classes, seniors and stuff, and they're going out to the nursing homes and different
Assisted
ones,
living
and they're helping these people. We even have some that we go to the different schools in town, and they assist there, and they set up, and they've got the younger children, and they're doing that.
Teach them about personal hygiene and all,
all
that, kind
that
of stuff.
stuff, and they're really part of the community, and that's what a good concept of education is to bring a person in and teach them to give back to their community when they leave.
right.
And our kids don't even have to wait that long.
Right.
They can do it while they're in school, and that's where. And one thing I really enjoy about Leominster is the diversity. And so people who may not have been getting together and stuff, they're getting together. They're becoming friends. Our students have days where they bring in foods of their culture and they promote stuff like that.
Yep.
It's a good thing to see. It's a family.
It's funny, when you're in elementary school, your friends live in that neighborhood.
Exactly.
Then you go to the middle school, at the time there were 2 when I went, and then you made more friends because they lived on this side of town. And then you go to high school, And it's everybody.
everybody.
It's like, where you been? Well, I lived on the other side of town. I lived
Yeah.
on the other side of the tracks. I went to that school, or this junior high. And then all of a sudden, it's like one melting pot. And that's the value of our school, is it really is a melting pot.
That diversity is considered normal.
Yeah, today, and nobody really even
They don't
second
re-
guesses. It's
that's
like,
right.
I don't know, it's no big deal
Yeah.
to me, right?
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
exactly.
And again, I think the next time we do a show, we'll actually take the cameras out and we'll go through and walk our way through the
Be great.
CTEi, so we can
Absolutely.
actually get a visual behind it.
We'd
But I
love
know
to.
this is an important time of year because students will begin having conversations with their parents about, hey, I think I'd like to, go up for the open house and take a look around and get over that stigma, which isn't as prevalent as it used to be, but still for some families, it's like, geez, I don't know. I thought that was a trade school, and kids that didn't do so well went there and all, and that's not the case anymore.
I saw
No.
it in the 70s is
Sure
when
you
I was
did,
in
I'm
high
sure.
school, and I said to my dad, I said, hey, I want to go to the vocational school near me, and he said, no, you'll just get beat up. And, so I went to the regular high school. I went 1 year at college, and I like doing stuff with my
you
hands.
wished you went.
So then I signed up, and I went to trade school then. So I felt like I lost 5
Right,
years that I
right.
could have gotten earlier.
Right.
And you mentioned our open house. It's going to be the first Saturday in March 4th.
And that's why I wanted to get you on, so that people
Mm-hmm.
know if you have a son or a daughter, or you have guardianship or grandparent or whatever.
Sure.
Take the time. Just take the time.
You gotta come
for that
see it.
8th grade student that's going to be going to 9th. Just take the time. It's just go in the morning and they'll walk you through it.
Yep.
And you don't have to sign anything or say commit yourself. But it's the beginning of the process of exposing them to the possibility, and then have a conversation and see whether it's for your student or not, or your child, or the person that you're caring for, or whatever. And then you make the decision. But physically get into the facilities and take a look, and get a chance to talk to some of the students and the staff. And the staff is high caliber, and again on cutting edge in terms of the latest technologies and licenses,
Right.
and you would be surprised. And there's demonstrations that the students will put
Yes.
on, and the staff. And then if it's just not your cup of tea and it doesn't seem like it works for you, then at least you've had that chance to attend the open house. So we'll get in with the
Absolutely.
cameras and,
That's right.
and show people, and you get into tool technology, machine tool technology. This
Amazing.
is the city where these people had the talent of like literally building tools, molds,
Correct.
with their hands, and routers and old-fashioned equipment, where today it's incredible. It's CNC machines. and-
Steve McNamara,
Steve McNamara.
and Mike Horn.
Yep.
Mike Horn,
The two teachers there, and Steve
Incredible.
worked really hard to go after some big grants.
He's been successful right along.
He's converted
He's
that
had
whole
machines that
shop.
nobody else had yet in
He's-
the industry.
Yeah, Mike is right out of the industry and said the equipment that these kids are training on is better than the equipment he was working on in the shops.
And today, as you tour shops, those CNC machines are everywhere.
Yeah.
Woodworking, dentists have a version of
All
that CNC.
programmable.
Yeah.
Program it in. So you got to know what you're doing. You have to have those skills.
Yes.
And it's, things have changed. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Have a safe drive home.
We
Yeah.
will.
Before long, you'll be turning around to come back.
That's right.
That's all right. That's
Satellite
fine.
radio, AM radio.
Oh, I'm gonna stay in
books on
Chelmsford
tape.
tonight.
Oh,
My
you're
son
staying-
lives there. I'll see my grandson. and-
See that? You got to sneak. You got to
Yeah.
sneak. You
Yeah.
got to sneak in. You got to fall back just
Yeah,
in case,
that's what I do.
in case the weather's bad.
Nights
or
like
whatever.
this.
Well, it's you're close to the ocean down there, and
Yeah, well, you were just down in
right.
Situate. You
That's
were
what I
saying.
said. It's just it's a little difficult to get there from the main. I mean, it's
Yeah,
busy
yeah.
down there.
No.
You try to get there from Route 3.
Yeah,
And
you have to go 3 to 139.
right. It's not like you just like we're spoiled here. We got 7 exits off the highway.
Big
You know what I
time,
mean?
yeah.
It's just everything.
Yeah.
Everybody lives 5 minutes from the highway.
Yeah.
To get on, and so, but it is beautiful out there. What's the other town? Situate, and then
You got Cohasset.
Cohasset.
Duxbury.
Duxbury is the one that's like they built the high
Fitchburg.
school.
Don't forget Fitchburg. That's where I am.
Yeah, that's right. But they built that high school. It
Yes.
looks like a college campus down there.
Well,
Yeah.
we used to play them, and we used to call them Deluxeberry.
It's exactly the feeling I got down there. Is
So, yeah, we kid, So that's why coming up here, I'm learning
right.
the area and stuff like that. But everyone's the same. You know,
Oh, people are
everyone's
people.
the same. People are people.
That's right.
Well, good.
That's right.
And we talked a little bit about today about another project or two, and it's
That's right.
exciting, and get
Yep.
the kids involved. And
Glad to do
and
it.
You did so many projects you've done. You did a couple of projects with Habitat for Humanity, which
Yes.
really worked out well. We did one house down on
Corner of
Whitney
Spruce
Street
and Whitney.
Street,
Yep.
and they had a child that had some physical disabilities,
correct.
and it worked out perfect for them. They're still there.
That's great.
They're still there. And
That's great.
that was a lot of years
That
ago.
was
I don't
a-
know how many.
that was
Must have been when you first
at least
got here.
12.
Was it? I thought it was even more than that.
It's been at least 12.
Because at the time, I'd asked a friend to have somebody come out and kind of showcase the event.
We had the weather lady
We
from
did. We had the
Channel
weather
7
lady.
come out for
We did.
planting a tree with you there.
And we did. And so I had asked her to come out. I said, hey, do you mind coming out? And she says, well, she was from Connecticut, I think, is where she was originally
Yeah.
from. And then the day that we had the grand opening
Oh,
of it,
yeah, the big
they planted
ceremony.
The tree.
Yes.
It was a deluge, just
It
so
was
much rain. We
pouring.
had like 3.5 inches of rain. And I thought, and I called her and I said, if you don't want to come out, I understand because you can't even see in front of you. She goes, well, can you meet me? She says, can you just meet me off the highway and then take me in that way? And I said, yeah, I'll meet you up at the visitor center. And so she was nice enough to come there. And it was so much rain. She went outside. We planted a tree.
She had those big rubber boots
She had the
on.
big rubber boots. I'll never forget it because it's the first time
pink rubber
I
boots.
saw those boots, like the farm, like the
Yeah.
people that plant in the garden.
Yeah.
Now they're everywhere. It's the first time I saw them, and I know we're all kind of looking, going, geez, those are kind of funny boots. And then later, they became like the fashion thing.
That's right.
She now is on the Today Show.
That's right.
Dylan Dwyer.
That's right.
And she was so good about coming out.
Yes, she
And
was.
later I said, she was talked to everybody, and she was so good about it. And I said later, and she said, can you do me a favor? I said, what? She goes, I haven't eaten since last night. She said, so we went downtown and got something to eat. She's just such a nice person.
Yeah.
And she made it big time.
Yeah, she did.
That's as big as you
In
get,
a short
right?
amount of time, too.
Short amount of time.
Yeah.
She worked at Channel 7. A friend of mine had some connections down there and helped us out and said, yeah, we have this new lady here, and she just started doing the weather, and I think she'd be pretty good to come out, and she's really weather, she's everything into weather.
We didn't
Well,
have to
little did I
water.
know,
We didn't have to water
that's
the
what
tree.
I'm saying. Little did I know that she'd come out in the middle of it. So
Yeah.
she explained to us the weather pattern and why we're having like 3 or 4 inches of
Exactly.
tropical, compression coming through. But she was really good, and she went out in the rain, and we planted the tree.
Yeah,
and
it was good.
The tree's grown, and they're still there. So
Good memory.
hopefully, someday we'll get that home building program going again.
Love it.
There are many, I don't know how many families in town that have a house now as a result of that program that wouldn't have, or it was their starter home.
We built over 50.
Imagine that.
Through
That's incredible.
Yeah, over 50 homes in
Imagine
Leominster.
that
Yeah.
for people that otherwise wouldn't have a home, and then down the road they sold those and moved to a bigger home with a bigger family. And
When we come to the school sometime, we can show you the wall where
yeah,
we had at least 50 of them
of the
on
pictures.
of the
Amazing.
pictures of the house.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
Sure.
very
We're going
much.
to take a
Thank you.
short break here at Inside Leomister, but don't worry because we're coming back because we got photos of the week, I think.
Now, you feel like it's smooth, right?
Yeah,
So, you're on tile.
Correct.
So,
So every once in a while I hear a little groove,
okay, so do
Now
you
I'm
feel
on
the
the carpet.
difference now?
Yeah.
You're on carpet. So you can hold on to me a little bit tighter if you want, okay? So you roll from 10 to 2, okay? And then as you keep rolling, do you feel that?
it changed,
Do
yep.
you feel the change?
I felt
so
the
that
lift.
means that there's a little, like something on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So would you like to feel that?
Yeah, where is it?
Keep going. There you
Oh,
go.
there it is. Okay,
Okay.
so it's in Braille.
I don't think so. It's just the where it has the wheelchair.
Okay.
All right.
So I know that's I can feel the button.
Yes, so push
So
it.
the doors must be to my left, right?
The doors are right smack in front of you.
Okay.
All right, so grab my arm again. Okay.
They found out many issues that exist for those people who might need a little more help getting around. One of them being the placement of truncated domes, which are those yellow dotted mats that are at intersections. Recently, some of the streetscape was enhanced, but the domes are placed at odd angles, so leading people who are visually impaired, especially, to follow them into the middle of an intersection, which is not really what anybody would like. Also, we found many intersections that had no audible cues as far as when it was safe to cross. Drivers are very good sometimes when a white cane is about, but if that's not seen and there's no audible clue, unfortunately a pedestrian doesn't know when to cross. So I think that for Representative Higgins and the mayor, it was an eye-opening experience just to try to work with policy and future planning to make everything accessible.
It's however it feels more comfortable to you.
Yep.
So you're gonna feel, you see here?
Yep.
Okay,
That's a
so
step.
that's one step
Yep.
right there. So
You
you
can
feel
feel
the end of it?
Yep.
That's one step.
Yep.
You're gonna come down one step, either your
Let me
left or
just-
your right.
Okay, so I'm right at the edge.
Okay, now feel it
Yep.
again.
Yeah,
Then keep going.
I can feel it on my foot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your cane is your best friend.
Yep,
It'll tell
I
you
can
when
feel
to
it.
stop and when to go.
Yep.
All right? All righty. And sometimes we let the person know, the VIP, you have X amount of steps, and that gives you an idea of how many steps you have to go. So
I'm at the end.
you're at the end, one
Right.
more step.
Yep.
There you go, perfect. All
I must be
righty.
on the sidewalk.
You're on the sidewalk
Okay.
right now, so
No
I'm
more
gonna come
steps.
around you.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm gonna come around you. There's my arm. Right there. Perfect. Okay? So we're gonna come. And you're on the sidewalk in front of the library.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything. Oh, we're going back on.
And here we are with
Hey.
Pictures of the Week.
Here we go, everybody. Here we are. Phase 2 is out to bid for the second phase of the Mechanic Street project, and I went by there today. And you know what? I had this urge to go grab some kids off the street over there and get a football game. 2 days ago, when the grass was green and there was no snow, it was a nice day, and I said, maybe we can get a little football game going here. But anyway, Phase 2 is out to bid at Mechanic Street, and well, spring and summer's coming, and you'll see that take place. Hey, the fire department is really taking shape. Speaking of taking shape in the back there, so that will be the new sort of main/rear entrance to the fire department. And what's really neat is the old-fashioned pumper that some of the firefighters restored will be prominent from that window. So it's exciting to see it happen. And the brick matches as close as they could get it to the original brick. But it's really been, I think, for them, a really fun project and a real fun project to watch. And so every time I walk by, I get a sneak peek, and boy, those masons move quickly. So I know everybody has ideas and things that they want to do, and it's really going to be a fun project for all. And there we are, Mike Ciccone. He was the letter carrier who was close by when there was a fire on Wheeler Street, and the Kimataris family and young granddaughter Kimataris ran outside. He was there, even despite the fact that there was smoke coming out of the eaves and heavy dark smoke. He didn't even think twice about it. He ran into the building and safely got everybody out. And so he was acknowledged by the city as well as the post office and the fire department. Now, normally the fire department has an awards night, and I think at the same time they do sort of promotions and all of that, but they felt deeply that he should be recognized as soon as possible. And there is Mike Ciccone and family, and in the back there is Lieutenant of the Police Department, Matteo Ciccone, looking good. He's still sharp as a tack over there, and then their family. So a very nice day, and the fire department did a great job. We'd like to see those events there at the fire department, right inside the station. Those are my favorite events. And there's another shot. His dad on the left, his uncle to the far right, his grandfather in the back. So it was a proud moment there for all. I don't know what's going to go on with Rocky here. We haven't been able to get Rocky on the ice, and maybe we'll have to reverse this to say, when do you think, instead of saying, when do you think Rocky will fall in, when do you think we'll actually be able to put him out? Maybe this week, because it's really going to get cold. So if you come walking around the corner over at City Hall in the clerk's office and you come in the wrong door, you might see Rocky sitting there. And even though I know he's there some days, he does scare me. There's a new sidewalk on West Street near the Carter building. That is really moving along. They are doing the finishing touches in there, and I would suspect that this time next month, people will be living there. And then the landscape obviously will come with the warmer weather. And I don't know if you've noticed, but they're doing significant overhaul and improvements over there at the family pizza building. And little at a time, they've been working there, and some incredible renovations over there. I think they've pretty much ripped everything out and starting over, so it looks good. And our new restaurant is open, and Brady's, and joins the other restaurants in town. And one thing about restaurants is people do come into town, spend a lot of time out there, stopping and talking to people because they want a good sense of where people are coming to when they come in on a Friday or Saturday night, or around the holiday season if they're coming in. And I'd have to tell you, the amount of people that are coming in from out of town is increasing all of the time. And so they might not just go to this restaurant, but maybe they're full at Brady's. But so they go to Ryan Time, or they go down to Christina's, or they go down to El Camino. But the more people that come in, that's just more. More for the different restaurants. So if one place is full, they just go somewhere else, or they just say, I come from another town. I came in because somebody recommended something, but next time I didn't know this place was here, and let's go to this other place. So one restaurant brings more people bring more seats to the other restaurants. And there it is at Carter Junior High School. It's really Leominster High School / Carter Junior High School. So looking great over there. And I'll tell you, it's probably one of the best restoration projects that we've seen in the city. And the other one was at Rockwell Village in the old piano factory, and where Ron lives. And again, they received not just one restoration and historic preservation award, but Ron tells me they just received a second historic award, and I believe that's a federal designation. Hey, anybody know where these came from? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to call and tell me where you think these came from? Take a good look. Anybody want to guess here at the studio? 978-537-7760. Give me a buzz. Tell me where these came from. Recognize any of these? Give me a buzz. I'll come back to that. Reinventing of the mall, or repositioning, as they say, of the mall is clearly on the way. And new owners, they'll be out here in a couple of weeks, I think, or next week or the following week. When I say couple of weeks, we're already going to be into February, and start the process of visioning for the future. But stabilizing the mall, making sure that those tenants that are in the mall are taken care of, and they are making some changes to the mall. But at the end of the day, they'll stabilize it and then begin to bring people back. Remember the days when they had events at the mall? Every weekend there was events at the mall, and then somehow or another during new owners came in and transitioned in, and maybe they stopped some of those things. The whole property group is really big into that. They are big into promoting the mall, big into bringing back those events that we used to once have at the mall, and so I think you're going to see some changes in the positive way. And there we are. Anybody want to take a guess? Nobody knows where those came from? I'll leave the picture there for a minute. 978-537-7760 if you think you know where those came from. In the meantime, I'll leave that up. Extension 3. Oh, we got a call.
Hey, buddy.
Where'd those come from?
From the mall?
Yes, they did. And guess where they are?
At your office.
They are. They are now at City Hall. Breaking news. Nobody knows this. This is like tomorrow. Right now, you can start posting it. You can start telling people. Anybody that's watching the show tonight knows this first, that we now have those. So what they are is basically giant stuffed animals. You can sit on them. They hold up to 200 pounds. And you can sit on them. Some play music. They have lights on them. And you'll be able to drive around inside City Hall in the auditorium and cruise around on these. Cool. And very soon, because we now own them.
Cool.
So you can tell everybody you know something.
You want me to even tell the day program?
You can tell them you know something nobody else knows, and then tell them that if you ever went to the mall and you saw those things flying around, they're now at City Hall, and you're going to be able to go inside City Hall and use them.
Yay.
Good job, Crystal.
Yep.
I knew you would call. I knew you knew, and I knew you would call. All right.
I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Over and out. Yeah, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Over and out is right. The galleries at Leominster Public Library present Mark Chester, a Bay State, a multicultural landscape photographs of the New Americans, on display January 1st till February 27th. I haven't got over there yet, but I will. Coming up next week on the 22nd, BYOD, bring your own device, learn how to borrow free library, ebooks, and audio. So basically, you bring your handheld device, and you bring it over, because in a lot of cases, like me, sometimes I'm visual, and I love when somebody sits there with me and says, this is how you do this, this is how you set this up. They're going to tell you how to do that. But registration is for a 30-minute slot, and it is definitely required. And you can start calling now to the public library at the information desk, 978-534-7522, extension 3. And so you bring your laptop, your tablet, your ebook, smartphone, or other device, and you go over there, and they're going to tell you how to download a ebook or something, high tech. And you've tried it, and it seems like it's complicated. And I'm a visual learner, so no big deal. You go over there, and they're going to tell you how to be able to do that. And then, sometimes people are reluctant to do it, but look at all the fun you're missing by not being able to watch or read a book or watch a video on your phone when it's really easy if somebody helps you to get set up. It's film night for grown-ups at the public library, and Downtown Abbey is what they'll be chatting about Thursday the 30th. 6:30 to 9, that's next week. Leominster Public Library Community Room. It's free and open to the public. The movie is rated PG. And again, this is film night for grown-ups, and this is Downtown Abbey Thursday night, next Thursday, I guess, right? So that's pretty cool. And talked about that. Let's see. Wipe the slate clean of ALS. Saturday, February 8th, 12 to 6. Music raffle, silent auction at Slate Bar and Grill, 899 Central Street. And this is proceeds will benefit the Angel Fund ALS research. And then don't forget, coming up, get those tickets Saturday, February 8th at 7 o'clock at night down at the DCU Center. There's a whole section of Leominster peeps down there, and going to be raising money for cancer. Almost forgot. Let me go to this, guys, one thing. We're doing the Winter Wonderland. You can stop by City Hall. There were ladies in there today taking a peek. Louis Charpentier's display is in there, as well as it's decorated inside with lights and decorations for kind of give you that wilderness winter look. And you can stop down because on, let's see, the 18th, which is this Saturday, you can come on down. So normally it's just open during business hours, but tomorrow, Saturday the 18th, from 2 to 4, they'll have cider and snacks, and then also the 25th. So it's going to be a fun time, and you can maybe we'll even have our little electric cars so they can electric animals so that you can go through. So how much time we have? 1 minute. Coming up, if you want to know, Garden Mania, January 30th. This week, starting the 19th, is the coffee crawl. Get your $2 tickets. You get a $2 ticket, you go to these coffee crawls. I think it's $1 or something for a coffee, and you get to sample and rate which ones you think are best. Then Groundhog Day is coming up with Featherstone. We don't do it with a groundhog. We do it with Featherstone the Flamingo, Restaurant Week, Drive-In Movie, Once Upon a Time, and 22 other different events. Thank you here to the crew here at Inside Leomister. Good night. God bless you. Hey, remember, the world is run by those who show up. You've got to show up. Good night.
Inside Leominster is brought to you through the generous support of Colonial Insulation Company, residential and commercial insulation and fireproofing services, specializing in blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com. And by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donot shout.com.